Okay, good morning, everyone. We're going to continue with order of operations. So just to read, and I hope this is better for us to read. So I'm going to keep this up as long as we get order of operations. So we have the grouping symbols. Again, those are the parentheses, the brackets, and the braces. Second step for order of operations are exponents. Third step, multiplication, division. And again, we can do division before multiplication if that's in the problem. And then number 4, addition and subtraction. And then again, those two go hand in hand as well. So today we're going to evaluate. We're going to substitute the value. Not solving because we don't have parentheses in any of our problems that you see. We have a lot of letters. So we have X, Y, and Z. So when we see an X, we're going to substitute that with a 3. When we see a Y, we'll substitute that with a -4, and when we see a Z, we'll substitute that with a 5. My suggestion for this, so we don't get confused and we can just flow with the math problems, put all your substitutions in parentheses. So I did our first one for us already-ish. So number 1, X, Y. Now when we have two letters together, that order of operation is multiplication. So here we'll read it as X times Y. So I substituted our X, so I have our 3. I substituted our Y, and I have my -4. And I did put those in parentheses so we can make sure we know what we're working with. So now our math problem is 3 times -4. And we know 3 times -4, -12. Okay, so let's look at number 2. 5 minus Y. All right, so we're going to substitute our Y, which is -4, and we'll bring down the rest of the problem. So now we're looking at 5 minus -4. Now, if you were with Mr. Carlos and Mr. Nimmons last year, they did a thing called circle the derbies. So we'll circle, because two negatives become a positive. So you'll circle the derbies. Again, that's if you had Nimmons and Carlos. So now our math problem is simply 5 plus 4. 5 plus 4 is regular. Number 3, fractions. Oh yes. I even had my daughter look at this today and she was like, oh, forget it, I hate fractions. And she's 24. But it's not that bad. So let's do some substitutions. So we have X over X. Now this fraction line is actually division. The fraction bar is actually division. So let's rewrite our problem. And I'm not putting in parentheses here because we do have that fraction bar that kind of gives it that separation. So now we just look at it. What is 3 divided by 3? And that stuff you can easily just put in your calculator. 3 divided by 3, 1. We'll bring down the rest of the problem. -4 divided by -4 is 1. So our math problem now is 1 minus 1. And that would give us 0. Okay, look at 4 and 5. They look kind of similar, but the parentheses will make it a completely different math problem. So for number 4, we have -5 squared. Square means you're multiplying the number by itself. But in this case, the 5 is the only thing squared. So we'll rewrite this. We'll bring that negative down, and we'll just do 5 times 5. 5 times 5, 25. And we'll bring that negative sign down with us as well. So again, in this scenario, we only squared the 5 because that's where the square root was just connected with. It was not associated with that negative sign. Now in number 5, we have negative 5 squared. So in this case, we do negative 5 times negative 5. And we know a negative times a negative will give us a positive, and 5 times 5, 25. Now let's take a look at number 6, y squared. Now y is negative 4, so in this scenario, we will square negative 4. So we'll rewrite it with our substitution parentheses. So we have negative 4 times negative 4. Negative times a negative will give us a positive. And 4 times 4, whoop, that's a 16. Oh, goodness. So again, in that scenario, we did multiply the negative 4 because it wanted us to square the y. And when we substitute, we have to substitute the whole thing. We can't just leave out things because that's not the problem. So there's order of operations for today, August 25th. And then I'll also have a Google form for you. Have a great day. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns or comments. Thanks, bye.